to them. The thing that you find when you deal with the Stoics, they emphasize personal discipline and self-control. They must be in control of themselves at all times. And the way they do that is everything in their life is so planned that nothing can happen haphazard. Can you imagine that? And the problem with being a Stoic is if your life is that planned, that you plan for every disaster that can come by, you end up with no need for God. Well, it doesn't matter. If COVID puts us locked down for a year, I've got 4 years of groceries in my basement. Why do I care? Why do I care if a storm comes by? I've got a lockdown cellar that's got 5 years of food in it. You know the people I'm talking about. They have no need for God because they've got their life so planned. They're solely in control that they don't need to pray. Why do I need God for you? I'm prepared for anything. Yep, you prepared for anything but death. And one of these days, death's coming by. And it's going to pay a visit. Regardless where you think you are on the run or the ladder, be an Epicurean or a Stoic, guess what? They're all going to stand before God one day. And we can sit here and talk that, you know what? I love being in control. That's the reason why the Far East, they do so much in meditation. When they're meditating, what are they doing? I have no idea. My mind don't meditate on blank. They want you just to empty your mind of everything. I wake up in the morning that way. Why do I need to meditate for that to happen? You know, it's not like I have to get up in the morning and think, what was I doing? The rest of y'all have that problem. Don't y'all be lying to me. You get up in the morning and you think, do I have to go to work today? Maybe. I'm going to get dressed just in case. Y'all never done that? We have an altar call in a minute for liars. Yeah. Most of us get up in the morning, our mind is pretty well blank. But they meditate. What are you doing? You're trying to find inner peace. How are you going to find inner peace and outward destruction at the same time? The only way we can do that is to find it in Jesus Christ. He gives us peace that passeth all understanding. It don't come about by any way else. But preacher, you don't understand. I got my life under control. Till the doctor looks at you and said, hey, you got cancer. Your whole world comes crashing down. Your plans are nothing. You planned for disaster and the disaster came by was not what you was planning for. Well, preacher, I got enough life insurance policy. On this economy, can you guarantee they'll be in business next year? I'm not trying to cast disparagement. I'm just trying to tell you, I'd rather have faith in God than anything else. That's where we are. But not the Stoics, not the Epicureans. You know, the philosophy is going to exalt pride to the very front. The most important thing in the Stoics' life was to follow one's reasoning. I reason this to be good. I reason this to be true. This must be true, therefore I'm going to follow it. Does that make sense to you? I've reasoned a lot of things to be true that didn't work. Yeah. I'm not perfect on my futuristic goals. And you know what? Sometimes I'm not perfect on my behind goals neither. Everybody says, you know, behind us in the past we got 20/20 vision. Yeah. Some of them I still ain't figured out what happened. Well, would you done it different? I don't know, because I didn't know what I did back there to mess it up. But I messed it up. None of y'all feel that way? We will have an altar call in just a little bit. We've all been there, people. We were doing great, and all of a sudden we fell flat on our face, and we have no idea how we got there. But isn't it great to know we can still go to our Father, and He can give us joy and peace that passeth all understanding? The Stoics don't have peace. The only peace comes from that inner peace within them, that calm that they give themselves. But buddy, when the storms of life are crashing down, that storm is, I'm telling you, that peace is gone. But according to Hebrews, we have an anchor to hold on to. At the worst possible time, we can still go forward. Notice the things that you see about the Stoic. One of the things, I mentioned it this morning, the Stoic, their first two instructors committed suicide. That just blows my mind. I want to follow somebody that knows God well enough not to commit suicide. I've got enough problems in my own life that I need help. I don't need more problems. How would you feel if somebody you depended on to have all the answers, you find out they willingly took their own life? Wouldn't you sort of stop and say, wait a minute, maybe this isn't so true? And see, that's what Paul's attacking. Notice in verse 18, what will this babbler say? The message of Paul starts with, what will this babbler say? Now, the word babbler there, it's described the habits of birds as they're feeding. One preacher used the expression seed picker. What is this seed picker going to teach us? Well, we're the educated, we're the learned, we're the elites. What do you have you can teach me? I've been around a lot of people that wasn't that educated that knew God, that were giants. And I've been around people that was educated. I don't even trust them to get out of the rain. If the rain's coming down, I can see them outside playing in it. Lightning, thunder, and all. Now, what they were referring to as the babbler, the seed picker, they're talking about what Paul did was go through all these different religions and just pick out the parts that he liked and make this brand new religion. People, it doesn't work that way. Paul brought about a brand new religion because Christ was raised from the dead. It was not pulling different religions together. It was something different than they've ever seen before. It was not a combination of ideas and theology and teaching. It was the out-and-out instruction that comes from God. But what's this seed picker going to teach us? Because see, their argument is what you find in the last part of verse 18. Because he preached unto them Jesus and the resurrection. They referred to him as a babbler, gathering all these doctrines, rather than speaking of him as the apostle that he was. And one of the things that the apostles did was they brought forth the real message of God straight from God. That's what an apostle was. That kills me that we hear these on TV. You'll hear these preachers, apostle so-and-so, tain't none done it. There was a definition to be an apostle. To be an apostle, you had to have walked with Christ in your lifetime, or knew about Christ, or had the experience that Paul had. That's it. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't know anybody in this room that's old enough to have walked with Jesus. I mean, I know we think we're getting old, but listen to me, people. I don't think none of y'all was walking on the Sea of Galilee when Peter, James, and John was there. We missed the qualifications. Paul was the apostle out of due time called on the road to Damascus. Christ called him an apostle. So that pretty well limits any apostles today. Prophets are the same way. This sermon is sponsored by Prophet so-and-so. Tain't so done it, as Brother Parker would say. Tain't so done it. He ain't nowhere in this. God's not the author of confusion. That's confusion. Paul goes straight for the main message. He preached unto them Jesus and the resurrection. Now notice something that they say. He seemed to be a setter forth of strange gods. Man, somebody made a statement a couple of decades ago that there was religion coming out of California every week, a new religion. And I thought, surely that's made up. Surely that's not true. Then I heard about the Andy Griffin Church. And when I heard that, I thought, I don't know. I heard it all now. And you can actually go to Christian book websites and order the complete library of the Andy Griffin Show. And they come into church, they play that episode, and then the preacher gets up and tries to teach you the lesson that's in that episode. Yeah. I have a lot of issues with that. A lot of issues with that. Let's just pick up the book and let's go with what the book is in the book. Okay? Notice something else. They love debate. We looked at that in verse 21 this morning. For all the Athenians and strangers which were there spent their time in nothing else but either to tell or to hear some new thing. They love debate. So what Paul's going to give them is the chief debate. There's an empty grave in Jerusalem that Jesus used to be in. He preached Jesus and Him crucified. Notice what he said in 1 Corinthians 1. 1 Corinthians 1, look at verse number 18. He said, for the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness, but unto us which are saved it's the power of God. Unto the lost it's foolishness. What do you mean Jesus Christ crucified and risen again the third day? That makes no sense to me at all. It's like trying to explain to the Stoics. Guess what? We did not evolve here. Even if you believed in evolution, there had to be a God that created it all. Where did matter come from for evolution to start? Makes no sense. Well, this big explosion in outer space, and here comes the solar system. Can I ask you a question? If that's the case, why are they all round? Just thought I'd ask. You put a bomb in a house and you let it go off, and how many of y'all believe the walls are going to go out in a circle? How many of y'all going to believe that this wall would go out in a perfect circle? No. But they can believe that's how it happened. Have you ever seen a bomb bring forth life? Bombs bring forth death. If you believed in evolution, why is the earth the only place that has life? Surely there'd be something that could evolve on Mars. Surely we wouldn't be the only planet that would evolve. Wouldn't there be another planet that evolved? Preacher, you're asking too many questions. I'm just tired of them being stupid. How can you say we evolved? And monkeys are still here. Just thought I'd ask. We came up out of the ooze of the sea. Where did the sea come from? Just thought I'd ask. They have no answers. That's why this is foolishness to them. But unto us that believe, it's the gospel. Look down at verse number 21. He said, for after that, in the wisdom of God, the world by wisdom knew not God. It pleased God by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. For the Jews require a sign. Now, people, if you ever want to know why tongues are here, that's why. The Jews required a sign. So in the first church, there was foreign languages being interpreted by the Holy Spirit of God. Not googling, goggling down on the aisles, what they're doing today. No. But they spoke one language and everybody heard in their own language. That is tongues. The Jews required that. We don't require that anymore.